Yo, it's your boy JawsAtak. I'm wearing sunglasses and I'm gonna smoke a cigar. Now, real talk though, this is gonna be a cool new show that me and the homie are gonna put on. Let me try to invite him real quick. Rejoice, invite. But I figured I would do what cool people do, and that is wear sunglasses. And smoke, because people smoking are cool, apparently. But no, real talk, this show is going to be a success principle show that we're going to talk about kind of how we are, where we are in this time of being artists. And still trying to add a couple more people, but definitely try to get Rob on here. Couple people. Several topics we're going to talk about. I do have them in my notes in my phone, and I'm pretty sure Rob wrote them down, or at least a handful of them. I'm going to talk about them. And I am in my car right now because I had to do stuff in town. Ah, yes. Alright. Add as guest. Drinking coffee and smoking cigars.
Yo.
What's up, Rob?
Shit. Fucking trying to meander around the ethereal internet and the one missing chord we always have.
I am going to sit outside. I'm wearing sunglasses right now. Drinking coffee.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
And I'm
all right, I got my crown on. I'm feeling a little bit better. Nobody's gonna see the audio anyway, but
my hat is a shark's hat. Shout out.
That's because you're a shark.
Yeah. Oh, you know.
So what? You smoking now?
Well, I smoke cigars every once in a while.
So you're like one of those babes on Facebook, on Instagram, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, it's just like smoking girls. Yeah. Dude, my brother is watching. That's tight. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? We're starting a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I know what's up, cool. So this is the first of many.
That's right.
I do have a little feedback, so I'm going to try to plug my headphones in.
All right, I'll try to do the same because, and if we can cut the video, I think the audio will go better too. Hey, Chris. I hope you're playing Zelda right now and not just trying to work or something. I'm wondering if he can respond to us.
Yes. I'm wearing my Battle of the Jaws hoodie.
Nice.
Again, shout out to San Jose.
I'm wearing Patagonia. Shout out to Geometrics.
Tight. Big shout out to Geometrics.
Absolutely. Hey, maybe we can get them to sponsor a show.
Oh, yeah. I heard they're pretty cool people over there.
Yeah, they're doing big things. All right. So let's see here. All right. So yeah, pretty much we don't have to worry about the audio, or I mean, the video. So I'm wondering. I mean, it seems like perfectly clear, right?
Okay, I have a little feedback that I can work with it.
Well, if you're the one recording, though, that's not going to be good. But I guess we're just in the trial period. We're just trying to figure this out. So, but yeah, like on none of my devices can I go live. So I don't know.
Yeah, strange. What's up, Kevin? So, Rob, I hope you have notes, because I can't go to my notes. I can eventually print them out.
Yeah.
But right now I don't have them.
Oh, because you're on the phone. Yeah, see, that's why I want to have multiple devices. I'd like to be, like, on my iPad, able to check stuff online, like references that we want, or, like, post. And then, you know, I think the easiest way to get the audio going is going to be with a USB microphone.
Yeah.
But it says I don't have a camera, so I can't go live on my computer. So, I mean,
Right.
Whatever.
Well, also when I'm home, I have all my notes, like on my computer and laptop and everything. But
Don't you have
right
a
now,
second
because I'm
phone?
not at home.
You have a second. You have a second phone, so can't you put your notes on that?
It's not connected to my iCloud.
All right. Well, once again, here we are, fucking trying to figure out ways to make stuff work. Even though we're connected to the cloud, we're connected to Google, we're connected to Facebook, we have hell of equipment, and then it's still like, it's like, how do I have a brand new Google phone, a brand new iPad Pro 2, and a Mac with Corel, and I'm still can't even
Go live.
Like, not even go live, like just record. It's like, what?
The primitive stages of singularity.
Hey, we're gonna see singularity in our lifetime. That's gonna be super dope. All right. So what do I need right now? My notes. Okay, I gotta get my sketchbook. Dude, I got one of these sketchbooks that's like gigantic. It hardly fits in my backpack.
I got one of those.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, it's huge.
What size is it?
I don't know. It's probably like 17 by 14 or something, but
Okay.
it's big.
Dude, I have like every sketchbook right now.
I was gonna say, man, I don't have a single sketchbook from my childhood or from graffiti days or anything.
Really?
Like, at one point, I just got hella sketch. I was gonna get caught, and so I just like burned all of them, like stacks, like, you know, like fucking at least like 20 sketchbooks, like
Damn.
all the progress. So, but you know, I changed my name, I'm starting my life over this year, so I guess it's like this will be like the first sketchbook in the series, you know?
Word.
All right, I just took some kind of like really like very brief notes last time, so
Let's start there.
all right, well, should we just, so it's kind of like I need to, in a way, like, just, I need to monitor questions, but it's just like every time we talk, we'll just go back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, so, let's just say, wait, actually, I need to do one thing, and then we'll just officially start.
Okay. I'm gonna wear my sunglasses, smoke a cigar, and drink coffee. Like a
Coffee's
cool
good.
American.
I can't say cigars are.
What?
I said I can't really condone cigars, but I could definitely say coffee's good. I mean, I vape, so, but man, that feels so much smoother and just better for me. Like, I don't cough or feel like my throat hurts or any of these like bad, like any of the stuff smoking does. So, all right, so let's see here. Yeah, this
Bro,
kinda sucks.
remember when we would take chew and freestyle?
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot about doing dips.
Shout out to the success principles. Don't do that.
Hey,
But you
dude,
will get
we
a
were
fat
kids.
head rush.
We were kids. Yeah, I remember like kind of getting like almost addicted to it. Like because I did it at first, like, and it was like a joke. I think
Right,
Chris,
no, I remember.
Chris is watching. I think Chris was doing dips before I was. And I don't know. I remember it being like a joke. We were all just like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking stupid. It's like smoking meth, you know." And but at some point I got into it, and then I remember when my girlfriend would leave, like for work or something, I'd like put a dip in it, but I never wanted to get caught with one, you know. And like one time she came home.
That was weird. I don't know what just happened. That was weird. Just
You
fucking
back?
glitched out.
Yeah, well, I got kicked off.
Whatever, we'll figure the right shit out.
I mean, it's like, dude, do you remember the first time we recorded, like raps? I don't.
Your crib?
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I do.
I'm just saying, like, dude, it wasn't easy. It never is.
It wasn't easy, but it was hella fun.
Yeah, well, that's what we gotta think about with this too. All right, dude. Now I don't have any of the options. I can't see.
You can't see what?
I don't know. It's just like the comments. Like I saw Chris was watching, and like now it's like it says swipe left, and it's like won't let me. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. But all right. All right. Well,
This is what successful people do.
they problem solve.
They problem. Oh, facts. I like that.
All right. So. All right.
Just to let everybody know, I am not successful, but I'm a hard motherfucking worker.
Well, fucking mothers is definitely your first step.
Noise?
Oh, you lost me again?
No, what? What noise? Background noise?
Who are you talking to?
You. You said noise is my first step?
No, I said I can't hear any noise. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm confused.
That's because there was a glitch and, like, nothing was working for a second. All right, so look. I'm also going to put my headphones in and see, like, you said there was a feedback. Was there a feedback before you had headphones in?
Yes, and there's feedback still. Well,
right,
not anymore.
Okay,
not
see,
anymore.
I have, yeah, because you know why, what was happening? I have my headphones in now, so now it's not coming through mine and then back in. All right, hey, we solved our problem from last week.
Yeah. I like how you can't see my face. I think that's cool. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna change.
yeah.
I'm gonna change my voice too.
You should probably just like you're in a police interrogation.
Yeah. I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want people to know who I am.
All right, you need to get a program for that though, because that just sounds terrible audio.
Success.
All right. So I'm just gonna like do a little spiel to start the show, and then I can cut all this other stuff out.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Hey yo, what's up everybody? It's RE Joyce. I got my co-host with me.
JawsAtak.
All right.
OHKFPCELCDMT.
JawsAtak. He knows letters. It looks like. So
I don't know the consecutive order.
Speaking of letters, we got the word of the day. It's halcyon. Can you spell that,
Halcyon.
Jaws?
I
Can you
cannot
spell that?
spell.
Okay.
I can't even spell my own name. ATAK is how I spell attack.
JawsAtak. Yeah, so you can follow us at on Instagram, Facebook, JawsAtak. It's JawsAtak, and I'm RE Joice. That's R.E. Joice JOICE. So yeah, the word of the day, halcyon. What do you remember what it means?
No. Kind of, but not enough to like recite.
Well, you got to use it in your in the podcast today. You know, that's part of the word of the day.
Yes.
So a halcyon is a time in the past that you look upon with an idyllic or like a happy memory.
Of self,
So,
or
it's like it's one of your like one of the most positive, like happy times in your life. You're looking back on your halcyonic days.
okay.
Yeah.
I
So,
do
you know,
have
I'm sure.
I do have a memory. It's actually a canvas that I painted that I have hanging on my wall, and I just wish I could paint like that still.
Right.
So that is what would the past tense of that be?
I'm not sure,
Halcyon.
man. I don't know. Maybe you just have to, dude.
All right.
You know, clearly.
Anybody listening?
I thought on your Facebook it says you're a word
professional.
Word
I think
professional.
I think it says letter professional.
All right. Well,
I think it says letter professional.
you might have to
don't
update
remember.
your Facebook page for podcast listeners. All right. So this show is called Searching for Acclaim. And both of us are artists, and we're working really hard at, you know, getting notoriety and being seen in the public and having people follow us. And I think, what? Go ahead.
Let me specify. We are visual artists. You're also a digital artist, and we're also MCs. So
visual audio. Visual audio artists, but you know that's just like a tiny bit of who we are. You know, we also like you skateboard, and you know,
yeah.
I do yoga. Like there's stuff that basically the point is, I think, of this podcast is to like, you know, we're reaching for the stars. We're looking for more success in our life, and we want to help bring it back to other people. Hopefully through the analogies that we have and the stories about our own life and helping each other, we can
and practices.
We can inspire people to do things in their life too, to get to the next level.
Yep. This I feel like you know, is going to be filled with tips that again, that like we practice, that if other people practice, it'll help them, you know, fulfill their dream, you know, and visualize it in a much clearer sense.
So that makes me think, I think we should talk about the success principles a little bit, because that's, I think, where like a big portion of this theory is coming from and why we're doing it, you know?
The book?
Just, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the book, I'll start real quick. One day, all of a sudden, no, I did. Rob, I can't remember if you texted me. I think you texted me and then called. Either way, you sent me information about a Jack Canfield book called The Success Principles, and then eventually sent me a link to the video. Doesn't exist anymore. But I ended up buying the book. Did you buy the book for me, or did I buy it? I don't remember.
I think you bought it.
Okay. And it is just filled with a bunch of amazing realizations and tips to, again, just like see your dream clearer, and with like little steps to like succeed in following your dream and stuff like that. It's absolutely incredible. And it led to many, many more things. It's like, people say like weed is a gateway drug. This book was like a gateway book to just,
I like that. No, I mean, even you were saying the other day, you're like, dude, I don't do drugs. I just buy books. It's like,
yeah,
you know, for all those people who buy drugs, spend the money on the wrong thing, because books are like a drug for your mind, you know? And this book,
yeah,
The Success Principles, like it absolutely, like, from just the very first page, like, changed my life. And
yeah,
it made me feel like,
for sure.
you know, it asks you questions and it tells stories, and it's just like, basically, you like define success for yourself. It's not like what you see on TV. It's like, so someone might want to be like a professional like scuba diver, and someone else might want to, like, you know, be, you know, a #1 on the Billboard chart. So success isn't what people think about. Just it's money and it's like, you know, all that stuff. It's like success, I think we're looking at it like fulfillment in our lives. Fulfillment with, like, you know, how to stay positive and be like, the name of the book, the subline is how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And I think that's what this reaching for acclaim, that's what we're doing. We're going to help each other and any listener just to give tips on just how to get from where you are to the next step, the next level up, and like closer to your goals.
Let me add to that. This podcast, this show is not going to be far from what we talk about on a normal basis. It's just
right.
our conversations are so dense that it's going to be, you know, I mean, people listening into our conversations are going to learn. I mean, we learn a lot from each other. We're like accountability buddies, like you said the other day.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, both of us are on like an upward trajectory, and people who pay attention to like what we have to say is going to be helpful, you know. And again, like we're artists, but that doesn't mean you have to be an artist to like learn something from this, you know. I mean, you know, it's really.
Yeah, I think just like the point is like that art is a subsection of what we do. Like we're reaching for the stars, and I think that the lessons that we're like teaching ourselves and helping each other with are like they apply to a lot more than just one thing, you know, like art.
Yeah. But if you are an artist, you might catch a little bit more.
That's true. Yeah, I think I'd like to have a focus on art because that's what I do, you know.
Yeah.
But
maybe we should start there, unless you have like notes.
Yeah, I mean, my notes. I think you had better notes last time. Like what I did is I took notes of your notes, but I do remember one thing you saying. We should remind the listeners that like to take notes.
Yes.
And that's not even just for our podcast, which, you know, like the word of the day, for example, if you were ready for the next podcast with your pencil and then you put down the word of the day, like you're already learning something, even if maybe the topic isn't like super pertinent to you. So just taking notes, like, but I would say take notes in your life, like always have, you know, use your phone or get a little notepad that you only do that in, or a sketchbook or something. But I think that's one of those things, like, you don't just have to go to the coffee shop to study, like you study life all the time.
Absolutely. Yes. Taking notes, and a tip for just how I take notes. I mean, I take notes on everything, sometimes almost too much, but like Tim Ferriss says, something along the lines of like an addicted note taker or something like that. I mean, I take so many notes, like in my phone under the notes app. I have like art notes. I have life notes. I have, emceeing notes and all sorts of stuff like that. So when taking notes, I mean, the more organized you can be, the more helpful.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
that's a little tip that I have.
Organization, I think, just is one of those things that, like, for example, I think this is the case with a lot of artists. Part of being an artist is just like wanting to just be free and be totally like, oh, I'm gonna stay up super late one day and then so I can work on a painting. But what happens is then the next day you're super tired, so you don't work on a painting. And so I think with the organization, when you start structuring your life where, like I just started this last week of waking up at 7 a.m. every day and going to the gym. And I think what that does is it allows me, I only have a certain amount of time. I have from that time to like 11 when I go to bed. And so I have to get everything I want to done. I don't just go, oh, I maybe tonight I'll stay up later and get a project done. Mm-hmm. I have to shut down so that tomorrow I have enough energy to get it done.
For sure.
And just being organized is just going to help you. Like, actually, you'll end up accomplishing more, even if it's more difficult. But I think at the end of the day, or more like after 6 months, you end up enjoying organization and finding like mm-hmm. your new patterns,
And that's there's a couple things I have to say on that. Tim Ferriss says routine. Definitely have. It doesn't necessarily have to be like somebody else's routine, but having a routine is helpful. The other things I have to say, we have completely different schedules, you and I.
Yeah, you're on graveyard shift.
We can get into that later or whatever. But the other thing is, a note that I had was work for your sleep. And again, that's right. another thing we can get into later if you want.
One of the things I want to say right now, for the listeners to make it the best, I don't think you being at the park, I hear trucks. You've been smoking, so there's little lighters and that kind of stuff. Like let's try to be as professional as possible because that's the air of success that I know I want. I want people to look at me like I'm a professional, so I have to be one.
Right. And again, normally I'll be at my house, in my room or whatever. But today was just different for a couple different reasons.
You mean in your professional studio equipment?
In my studio, yeah. I mean,
in your production area for recording podcasts?
Yes.
That's right.
But, I had to stop at my job because I'm an alien human, but I'm a human. I could be in my car right now, technically. That's nice.
Speaking of work, man, I think that's another thing that artists do. They try so hard to just be, do anything just to paint and not have to have a job. And that's why they're starving artists,
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important to make sure you're working and if you can give back to the community, that's way quieter.
Cool. Yeah, Cadillac.
Dope.
Cadillac. It's like soundproof. I'm actually gonna go over there. One second. Yeah. You can continue, or I can throw some words in to that.
Honestly, I was just kind of letting you get settled. So whatever you're doing, it's all good.
I'm just getting to the other side. Yeah, we're good. As far as being a starving artist, I mean, I've lived several levels of that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, where I wasn't so active in shit, and I literally was like starving at times. You know, and it's really hard to sell, really hard to like sell art. But I just
that's because
recently
everybody else is starving too, and they're like they work and they got kids and they're going to school, and it's just like, dude, I don't have an extra $100 or $1,000 for a canvas. I need to like go eat a bean burrito.
Right. And that's another thing that I've realized, like, to help yourself, you have to like help everybody else who's like interested in your stuff. So for instance, I have large price range stuff, and I know you do as well. But we also learn to have affordable things for people. You know what I'm saying? I work with people's budgets all the time. But continuing back to like the starving artist, because of having like affordable things, there are times where like in the past I would have $0, and now pretty regularly I have like money.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's not like I can like, I mean, it's not like I have hella money, but I have like enough money to where like
you don't have to
technically
worry to like to grab some food before work or something.
Exactly.
Or you can go pick up a new book, or like if I called you and said, dude, Success Principles 2 is out, you'd be like, I'm going right now to get it.
Right.
And you're saying that's because you think that you're making your art affordable.
Absolutely. And not just more affordable, but more accessible.
All right, how so?
Well, before I would just have all my art, you know, hanging up in my room. Now that I have it like hanging at my job, and I've printed out commission sheets, you know, I'm treating myself more like a business. You know,
like
my social media. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Be professional.
All my social media is specifically revolving around, you know, I'm an artist. This is what I do. Whether you support me or not, this is what I do. And then if you do support me, I'm going to make it worthwhile, you know? So, again, I'm not a rich artist. I'm still a striving artist. But I think it's a step up from starving.
So that's like our logo, you know, it's like a guy on a ladder reaching up, trying to get to the next rung. And, yeah, I mean, that's all anyone's doing. Even if you think about like, you know, the president or something, you know, you think like the most powerful person in the world, they still wake up in the morning just like everyone else does. They might have an itinerary or people like a crew to help. So like, I think what this is about for us is like, how do you set yourself up so you're not just trying to figure it out every single day, but you have like a plan of action and where you're trying to go with it.
Yes. Also, you said to like set yourself up, and that's something that I also learned from Tim Ferriss. There's a couple names that you're going to hear a lot: Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, and Jack Canfield.
That's for sure.
But Tim Ferriss has said, you know, like, you know, almost like make your game and cheat so you can succeed.
Wait, say it again.
More or less like you're creating your own game, so do what you have to do to like succeed, like whatever.
Oh, and I think the analogy is, instead of like, you know, like life's a game of chess, it's like, no, you're already failing then because you're in the parameters of someone else's game. Like you have to create your own game. It's not chess. It's like, it's your version of chess. Yeah. And then you're saying you can, like, since it's your game, you know how to make it work for you.
Exactly. I have to take notes too, because not just do people listening have to take notes, I also have to take notes. Also, I wanted to mention the logo is a guy climbing a ladder. Something that I really liked was that the ladder was like dilapidated. You know what I'm saying? I think that was awesome. You know, you had broken rungs, you had rungs wrapped in tape. That's hella real, because even though, you know, your vision may be 100% clear and you may be doing everything right, you still have to work hard for it. And that was another, you know, thing that I wrote down, was actual hard work. You know, blood, sweat, and tears, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember, go ahead.
well, just the idea of the ladder is like, it's not just like, oh, if you're, let's say, drawing every day, that you're just going to become good. It's like there's a rung in the ladder that, like, you tried to draw every day, but then you messed up and broke the ladder, and then you put it away for a while, and then when you get back to it, you're like, oh, actually, I have to work like twice as hard because now I have to step over this rung that I broke. And so, yeah, there's stuff in life where no matter how hard you work, you have to understand that life is gonna flow, and like you have to go with like what's going on in the outside world. It's not just your plan, but you have to make that work with other people's plans.
Absolutely. Or other unforeseen things, you know, say, you know, for artists who keep like a, you know, a sketchbook in their backpack or something, and then it's like, I mean, every once in a while I'll bring my backpack to work, you know, for different reasons, and like, you know, the kitchen could flood and your backpack could get wet and ruin your sketchbook. You know, there's another rung in the ladder that is just unforeseen, you know.
Yeah, you have this phenomenal sketchbook and you're about to show someone at a gallery, and then boom, all of a sudden you don't have your sketchbook. That's not your fault. You're trying super hard and you're kicking ass, but you got to expect those things in life and like kind of understand that, like, dude, I mean, what? We tried to have this podcast last week. Dude, you're super noisy. Mr. Note Taker over here. This guy's a professional note taker. JawsAtak.
Yeah.
But yeah, so honestly,
you said I'm lazy.
No, I said you're noisy.
Oh, sorry.
It's honestly, I come like, I mean, I'm not blaming you. One of the Jack Canfield things is, the very first one is take 100% responsibility. Right now, I'm thinking of the lead track. I can't even remember what I was saying because it's so noisy. And I could blame you and just be like, dude, you need to stop doing that because that's really, really hard for me. But the truth is, I have to take the responsibility and realize it's hard for me. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, you know, like that's the thing we were saying about the rungs in the ladder that are broken. It's like I have to be okay with there being an external issue that's not going my way, but still adapt to it. Like Sun Tzu says, adaptability wins the war. I don't think it matters. Dude, stop. Jesus.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to, like, my pen is broken and I know I have tape in my car, and so I'm looking for the tape in my car to fix my pen so I can take notes.
All right, well, I'm just going to shut up for a minute. Like, hey, the listeners, go make sure you have a pencil and a pen right now. Go look for it while Jaws looks.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. Oh, I have one, I think. All right, I'm good. I found one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just like when you're recording like verses and rap and stuff. It's like you don't want any background noise or people talking when you're in the booth, you know? So,
right.
I mean, this is just a trial, but I mean, next week we'll be able to do it at the studio and the professional recording studio.
Yeah. Which still amazes me. Like, people spend so much money on studio time and don't, you know, buy their own equipment. It's crazy to me. But anyway.
I gotta say, I'm pretty happy. Your voice is coming in like crystal clear. I mean, it's like actually booming. It's actually like kind of too loud. I should turn my sound down. maybe see, that's why I got to take responsibility, because it's not, I mean, maybe someone else wouldn't even notice you're rustling around, you know, and it's just me being all persnickety.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember in my halcyon days where people didn't make noise on podcasts.
Fuck out of here.
Hey, word of the day, man. I'm using the word of the day.
All right.
All right, anyway, back to our regular scheduled program. So what was the note you were going to take? What was, do you remember even why you...
Yeah, well, it was about the ladders and rungs, but I had said it before I forgot it. Mm-hmm. But I knew I was going to need to take more notes, so I had to find a way to do that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Something I met a guy in the coffee shop yesterday, and I was painting a portrait, and a super great opportunity, because I was already there to study. So I'm thinking, get my books out, and so I'm in study mode. But what I realized, and actually, to give him credit, he said this later, and it all clicked. I realized I didn't have to study my books because I was going to study life. And so I did a portrait on the fly on my iPad, and at first was kind of kicking myself. I should just kind of ignore this guy, and we should meet up later. But then I realized, like, just like taking notes for everything, like, you're always studying. It's just how you reflect. How do you look at life? How do you, like, interpret the world? And, like, if you're in study mode all the time, then it's just going to be better the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think but this kid, he said something along those lines, like, he's like, you're always studying. It's like, wow, that's so true.
Yeah, it's a good mindset to keep. Attached to take notes all the time. If you're always, aware of just, like you said, studying life, it just keeps your brain sharper. And then when you do take notes, I mean, it's like if you're studying for a class, but in just a larger spectrum, I guess.
Hey, and that makes me think too, it's like, and also take classes. It's like, just studying life isn't enough. Like I was saying earlier, you can draw all day, but if you go to like a figure drawing class, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're pushing yourself to do these exact poses, and like, so like taking classes is something like everyone should do, no matter what they're into,
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, I actually have an illustration class tomorrow. Pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, so that's like a local teacher or somebody traveling, or
someone traveling. So there's this company called Fiber Castle, and I do use some of their markers, but one of their illustrators is like, I guess traveling to different cities, offering these classes. And the class that I signed up for, there was, I believe, only 16 spots, and somehow I obtained one of them. And it's a very different opportunity, but I'm super hyped that I get to be a part of it. And it's gonna bring a lot
learn from it.
Absolutely. It's going to bring a lot of insight to see like what other artists who are in the class, like how they prepare to like take a class, plus just networking with more artists. And, I know there's a lot to learn, and I might not learn exactly the same thing as everybody else because I'm going to be, again, studying life, not just studying the course. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this turns out. But yes, take classes. Any classes?
One of the people I follow, like you were mentioning Tim Ferriss and other names, I think it's really cool. This gives us a platform to help the people that we look up to. So this guy, his name's Bobby Chiu. His last name's spelled Chiu. And yeah, what's really cool about him is that he has a school. His company is called Schoolism, and he plugs it shamelessly. And it's like, I realized though, he's so passionate about helping people learn that he created his whole own school. And so it's some ridiculously cheap price. Like for a whole semester, it's like $30.
Oh, wow.
And like, I mean, like, and the teachers are people like one of the classes I'm trying to sign up for is, the professor has been in the like concept art, like for movies like Disney, and he's worked for Pixar, like one of the best studios in the world. And so, you know, he's had a professional job for 20 years, best in the world, and he's taken a class you can get for $30.
Damn.
I mean, and that's like, you know, these other classes I'm taking online are like $600. You know, that's more like what a college, like, you know, wants.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's the thing is, like, when I say take classes, I mean, like, even if it's your local yoga class for a drop-in fee of $7, like, you can afford something. It doesn't have to be this grandiose, crazy thing, you know? Actually, I missed a class last night. Well, it's because I was working, but so, you know, life, you got to learn to juggle life and be balanced. That's one of the biggest things, no matter what you do. And I think we have tips on that. I think stuff like sleeping patterns and like eating healthy and making sure you're doing stuff that you enjoy. Just little tips, you know, like just can help people. But anyway, I was going to this class last night. I didn't end up going, and then I see on Instagram somebody that I'm doing a portrait of. She went and modeled at the class, and I was like, damn, like I could have got practice like drawing her nude, and it was like, well, life got in the way, but you got to find out the times when you're like, you can't let it get in the way too, you know?
Right.
Prioritize.
Right. No,
That's
definitely.
That's the thing about scheduling, you know?
That's another thing that I could add on to that scheduling. Just my scheduling regimen. Is that right? I don't know. But yeah, scheduling is very helpful. For just example of like how it's helpful to me, I guess. It kind of frees up thinking too much.
Yeah,
you know.
Wait. It does the opposite of what you think scheduling does, right? Like if you put all your time.
Yeah.
You think, oh well, I'm going to be busy at these specific times, but it actually ends up freeing your schedule. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So this was my process. One day I realized I should get a wall calendar. So I went out and got a wall calendar, and I wrote down a list of everything that I needed to schedule, and then assigned days like, you know, I'm going to study Sundays. I'm going to work on this commission piece Monday, this commission piece Tuesday, this commission piece Wednesday. I'm going to draw Thursday. I'm going to do like, you know, reading one day. But what it did was I don't have to think of all these things I need to be doing. I just look at my calendar. It says you're drawing today. And I don't have to think of anything else but drawing. So it frees up a lot of just like mental energy.
Yeah, because a lot of the time I'll be sitting there and I'll be like studying and I'll go, oh man, I got to pay my credit card bills. And then if I don't take a note right then maybe like at dinner, I'm like, oh, that's right, I got to do that. And you end up wasting all this time thinking about paying your credit card bills like 20 times when
Mm-hmm.
then I just started doing auto payments and I know every single 11th of the month I
Mm-hmm.
have to have the money in there. So all I have to do is just like it automatically pays my bill. And so now it's like, oh, okay, I'm done with that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Way easier.
Yeah. And just to continue on with that, it only takes an hour to schedule your entire month. You know,
Yep.
I schedule a month out, and it takes, you know, I mean, maybe 2 hours max. Like if you're starting from scratch, write down a list of everything that needs to be scheduled, and then write it down. It takes less than 2 hours, you
But
know, and it frees up a lot of time.
here's the other thing, like, because I plan my months too. I'm actually booked up for gallery shows right now 4 months. Like, but one of the things that happened this last week was the check engine light came on my car.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can't you can't schedule everything, you know, but it's still now all of a sudden it's a
Right.
priority. So but what I found
Right.
because I was scheduled, okay, I have this portrait to do and I got to work at this time. So okay, I can't do the car then. All right, now I'm gonna and I realized I had to schedule. I had to wake up earlier, and I scheduled,
Mm-hmm.
you know, around my other schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like it, and then it just becomes easier because it's like I'm already used to living by a schedule. So now like adding something to my schedule isn't overwhelming.
Right. And something else I've done actually, because you mentioned that, I scheduled life stuff. I also
Okay.
scheduled do nothing,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, just like that life stuff. I mean, like,
Don't
you know, that could mean just clean the studio, you know, sweep the floor so that it just feels more welcoming or whatever, you know, and then do nothing. Maybe that means play video games, you know, but pretty much to just like give your brain, you know, I mean, that's why we have weekends at work. You know what I'm saying? um, so yeah, I mean, again, just scheduling everything is
like
helpful.
it's what's funny is you're even saying you're scheduling not scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
Like by doing nothing, like you don't really mean do nothing, but it's like if you need to catch up on sleep or
Mm-hmm.
you've been wanting to ask this girl out on a date or you want to play some video games, like you're not playing video games kicking yourself like damn I didn't finish that commissioned piece, you know. So like you're like yeah I already worked on the commissioned piece today and now I
Mm-hmm.
have 3 hours where I can play video games and it's going to rejuvenate me and make me feel better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I have a really hard time with that because when I'm playing video games, I'm even thinking who designed this and like, oh, I want to draw something like this. And then like, okay, the character has this belt on, like, ooh, if it was me, I'd add this extra little clip for this
Mm-hmm.
thing. And so I wind up even on my time off, like I'm studying life. But
Mm-hmm.
what's great about it is I just instead of okay, I'm going to take notes or I better get on my computer, I just kind of force myself not to, and
Mm-hmm.
and then that kind of makes it easier when I get back to taking notes and stuff. I'm like, you know, I took a break from it.
Mm-hmm. That's funny that you said that. I mean, because both of our minds are so active that, you know, even when we're just playing video games, we're thinking of extra shit. For instance, I just wanted to add on because of what you said. I was playing Grand Theft Auto. Oh shit, it's maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago, maybe even more.
What
And
five?
literally, no, it's Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't have 5 because I don't care about video games that much. But literally, it was like drive to this spot. And while I was driving to the spot, in my mind, I was just like, this is so time consuming. If they want me to be somewhere, they could just spawn me there.
Yeah.
you know? And then I was like, if I needed to do a mission, they could just like say the mission's over. Like, it didn't make sense to me. It was such a waste of time. And then, like, while I was still driving there, I'm just like, all right, I'm doing nothing. You know, like,
Yeah, right.
literally, you
Like,
can drive 100 miles in a video game and not move off your ass at
yeah.
all. You
But
know,
you know
so
what I think about that though is like that is what the game's about though, is like stealing cars and driving them around. And so you're actually, when you're not doing anything in the game, there the purpose is still to have fun, you know? So you're sitting
sure.
there like going, this isn't that fun because what's the
Because
purpose?
there's no purpose. There's no point.
Like, yeah, I know. I keep buying video games and then taking them back and being like, these are stupid. And Tomb Raider, because it put you, every single thing you did, there was a purpose. These people need to be saved. You have to find shelter. You know, get this upgrade for your gun. So like every single thing, I felt like there was a reason I was doing it.
Okay.
So I think like when you schedule your life like that, like even we scheduled this podcast, you know, you gotta like work around our schedules and stuff. And like, I think making priorities to do things in your life, it becomes more clear, like which way on the path you're going. Because I think it's easy, like for me at least, to feel like I'm lost. Like almost, I don't care if I do like 3 like paintings in a week and just like I'm crushing it. I still am like, am I even progressing? Like I don't even feel like I'm getting anywhere. But if I write on my schedule like create at least 2 paintings this week, and then I'm working on my 3rd one, and I start to feel like, what the hell am I doing? I can look at my calendar and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Like put some positivity into this because actually I already reached my goal.
Sure. That just made me think of something. Nino Brown is another name I'll be mentioning a lot. He's like, if you don't appreciate what you have now, you won't appreciate what you get later.
Whoa.
You know? And then another thing that I came across was Dose was like, I usually draw a lot, and a lot of stuff is the same, but it's still like in an evolutionary spot. You know what I'm saying? So like, I used to get really annoyed. I mean, even just like a couple days ago, I was just like, all my shit looks too much the same.
Yeah.
But then I realized like this artist that I, you know, highly respect and look up to was just like, you know, yeah, it might look the same, but you know, it's not. You know what I'm saying?
You still are like progressing.
Yeah.
It's just so slow.
Yeah, and I try to do like at least some small different thing every time I do a new piece, just so that it's like a little bit evolved. And I know, you know, look back a month, you know, and there's an evolution. You know what I'm saying? Look back to my first sketchbook. It's an insane, you know, evolution. And then I just like, I'm focused on, you know, in 5 years, it's going to be, I might actually be good. You know what I'm saying? So the evolution process, you know, might not be the quickest, but consistency is another, you know, is another big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I got a chest tattoo that says "slow and steady wins the race," and basically, like, it could be one word, but it wouldn't look as cool. But yeah, that'd be consistency, you know. Because it's like going to the gym. You don't go work out and then you're the buffest guy. You work out for a year. It might take you 2 years to become that guy at the gym who's super buff.
Right.
And you don't realize anytime you're at the gym, it's not like you feel like you're lifting more, but then all of a sudden you're like, man, I was only lifting 10 pounds and now I can do 25. But that just, so it's like we're always progressing. But I think it's a good thing to like write like a journal write something somewhere where you can keep track. Like we both follow the law of attraction planner.
Mm-hmm.
And that planner, it asks you the questions at the end of the month, like to reflect on your month, and it like says celebrate your top 10 achievements, and like what were your distractions, and it has all these questions where I could go through and realize like 9 months ago I was living in a truck, 6 months ago I was saving money, 2 months ago I moved into a house, and like I could see the progression, like where I was and where I wanted to be. And yeah, like so how do we help each other and the listeners to get to that next spot in their evolution? That's really what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And I think I'll just re-say what I just said, because I think it can help people. Whatever you're doing, try to make a little adjustment at first and then watch it grow. You know?
Yeah, just right, little bits at a time, instead of like just trying to do something like just all out.
Right. For just a brief, light example, like say I draw a bar, and I draw a bar like every month, but then one day I'm like, oh, I'm going to put a little notch in it. And then you get so comfortable with putting little notches in it that it just brings an entire another level of just the single bar, and then when you're so comfortable with like adding the notch, you could be like, oh, now I'm going to just take this section out. And then you have like, your bar with just like notches and sections taken out, and the evolution has begun. So just little at a time. Yeah. Little at a time. Something you said made me think of another thing Tim Ferriss does, which I haven't done yet, but I've definitely thought about it, and I know I'm going to do it one of these days. He says, make a jar of awesome. Have you heard this yet? And he said, so. Every day when you like come home from work or, being out and about or whatever, write just a little sentence of something awesome, or 3, whatever, of something awesome that happened that day, and put it in the jar. And then whenever you're just like, feeling depressed or down or lonely or whatever the fuck, like you can just open the jar of awesome, read something that's hella fucking, positive in your life. And then, it just helps you get through that ridiculous low point, because I know we all go through it.
That's cool. So, yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, because that's why some people journal, or I like looking through my schedule and just realizing, wow, I checked off almost like 90% of the stuff I wanted to do this week. But yeah, that's cool, because even if like just to celebrate like the small stuff, like just like let's just say like like when you got coffee, like someone said, hey, cool hat, like not a big deal, but it's like, but you're like, well, I just worked for that money, and I sold a commission, and I went and bought a new hat, and it does feel good to look good, and someone recognized that. So like, yeah, I can see your other hats in the back,
dude. Yeah, it's funny because like I bought, I think 3 hats one day, and it wasn't even like I was going out to buy hats. It was like I had bought already like $200 worth of supplies, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a hat now. And then there was an awesome deal. So that's just kind of funny you said that. This is actually one of them.
I'm saying it because even something as like shallow and like just like menial as someone saying nice hat, like you can look back and just go, oh, that's right. Like, and then look over on your wall and then be like, yeah, my shit's tight. Like I'm dope. Like, I'm not, I wasn't feeling too good, but like I should go out for a cup of coffee right now. Maybe next time it'll be a cute girl who says nice hat,
Yeah.
And just, so I think that's cool. I like that jar of awesome.
I'm dope. See, sometimes I just want to go off that for a second.
Was that your note?
No, but I just now wrote that down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your note.
There are so many times, I mean, I am such a low level, but at the same time, I'm kind of like at this medium level where I'm not
Yeah.
terrible at art and I'm not the greatest at art. But there are times,
Uh-huh.
like, obviously, I'm like looking at artists that are way above me and I'm just like, damn, I suck. But then I'll go into like, fuck, dude, 9 out of 10 coffee shops and see artists that are like way below me, and I just get overwhelmed, you know, and I tell myself like I'm dope. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I like that you said that, because you know, if I'm just in my studio painting, or I look at like my favorite canvas and I'm literally like, I kill it. You know, or when
Mm-hmm.
people from, you know, Australia, the Netherlands, Japan, you know, Russia hit me up and talk about 3D graffiti, it's so joyful. Like, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm actually like impacting people, you know?
Rejoice.
Right, right. And, you know, like you say, interdimensionally acclaimed artist or something like that. Like, I realized the
Yeah.
other day that I'm literally an internationally acclaimed artist. I might not be the top motherfucker,
Yeah, you're not
but I'm
acclaimed, like you're not on billboards and you're not in like magazines yet, but
right. But
people are reaching
people
out all across the
all
world.
all over the world. Um. So yes, I'm dope. People, tell yourself
Dude,
that.
honestly, I was like, I just celebrated 100 followers on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
which I know is like, you know, if you had a Facebook account connected to, you should have, you know, 300 at least. But and then I saw yours and I was like, damn, my homie has 500. I was like, just like, I mean, I know it's not, you know, 15,000 like the big names, but it's still
Right.
like, I was like, dude, like that's a lot of people tuning in. And like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like, you know, how that feels super good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, it's this communication that we can have with people who care about the same stuff. And then they're going to go out and get better. And then like, they're gonna get followers too. And like, dude, it feels good to be helping people, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
like, cause when you have a little bit of success, like you really feel good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like dude, our world, like you were talking about the singularity earlier. Like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
everyone in the world, no matter where they're from, should be feeling good, you know.
Mm-hmm. I do want to add on to the celebrate aspect, but real quick, I want to give a shout out to True Justice. It's awesome. He um, tagged himself in this or something. Shout out to True Justice. If you don't know True Justice, he's been touring with Z-Man lately, San Francisco DJ. Um, so definitely check his music out. Shout out to True
I
Justice. Thanks for
I
tuning in.
made I made a note. Hey, thanks, True Justice.
Yeah, big shout out. So celebrate. So I've been learning a lot about, you know, celebrating small victories as opposed to like going out and partying all the time, you know? And it kind of goes back to like work for your sleep, but like work for your celebration, you know, work hard. And then when you accomplish achievable goals, no matter how small they are, like I'm about to put up a show next year. When I put that up, I'm going to throw at least a little party, you
Yeah.
know, just, you know, as a thank you to everybody who's been supportive.
Nice. I
Um,
like that.
so yeah, as far as like celebrate your small goals, achievable goals. Um, and then there's the fulfillment and success. Um, just knowing that those are different. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be successful, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you're fulfilled. And you have to do just like little things that like keep you, you know, happy. You know, so you can be
Hey,
successful. Hmm? Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, I mean, super on topic. I love it. I'm just wondering. I'm looking at the time. It says an hour and 9 minutes. Now we want to keep our shows for about an hour. So
Yeah,
was that from before like before, like we were talking a bunch, or did we start the time over? I forget.
No, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty solid estimate. But I wanted it to be about 1.5 to 2 hours because I know it's going to be so dense.
I just don't know if people will tune in for that long. And frankly,
right.
Since I'm going to be doing digital art, like for the visual portion, I gotta think about like the time limit and like know, what I'll be creating. But right now, I mean, it's fine. I can work on whatever and change the speed too. So
cool. And I do have work in a half hour, so I just figured
that's the other thing.
But I am just down the street, so we can talk for at least a few more minutes if you wanted, or we can end it. It's
no. I'm chilling. I'm definitely good. I'm drawing and just working.
Okay.
But I just wanted to make sure.
Sure. Let me elaborate more on just because, we have some more time to talk.
Cool. I'm glad.
The work for your sleep. Like I said, celebrating, having little parties for achievable goals and whatnot. Something that caught your attention when we were talking about notes last week was I said work for your sleep.
Yeah.
Another thing I picked up from Nino Brown, virtually saying like when you wake up in the morning, do something that like progresses you towards your dream. And if not, like don't waste, how I see it is before I go to sleep, I have to have done some drawing. And I'm to the point where every time my schedule is this. I wake up at maybe like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, start work at 5, get off at midnight, and then I'm drawing from 1 o'clock to 9 in the morning. I'm doing art. That is my schedule. I can, if for whatever reason I'm tired when I get home, I might take an hour-long nap. But if I wake up, my light's on and Netflix is still going, I have to draw something. Working for your sleep. I mean, like doing something progressive towards your end-all dream. Really helps me. Really keeps me motivated. Really keeps me like focused and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like it's easy to get depressed when you're not doing something for yourself. Like people are like, yeah, I'm not really into anything right now, or I'm just like not feeling good or whatever. And it's like, well, what do you like to do? And like, why don't you go do that? Like, and like, cause, oh, that's kind of hard. Or like, well, it's just like, I'm not feeling good. So people make excuses, but if you get into like the habit of just doing it every day, then you have some reason, like even if you're not feeling good, you're like, well, like for example, Jerry Seinfeld, he has a rule that he has to write comedy every day. And so like when he was just starting out, like, like when he was 20 or whatever, like he started writing comedy, and then he wrote an X on his calendar, and he said after he got to like day 4, he was like, I couldn't imagine there like being a missing day. And then he said, so it's been something like 30 years, and every single day of his calendar has an X in it. And I mean, look at the level of success he got, And I think that's from dedicated hard work and just perseverance. And that's like, because some days he's not going to feel funny. He's going to fight with his wife, or there's some big crisis with a car or something. But like, I'm sure you look back on those days that you were having a bad day, and then you pushed through it and you worked for your sleep. And then you're like, yeah, that's right, I'm dope. Like you said.
Right. Hold on 1 second. I'm just writing down the names that I've shouted out a bunch. Another note that I picked up, leading off what you said was I got this from Nino, was do it now.
Okay.
He said the time is not the time on your clock.
Okay.
The time is not the time on your phone or whatever. The time is now or never.
Nice.
You know, if you say you're gonna do it tomorrow, tomorrow's gonna turn into a week. A week is gonna turn into a month a year, etc. So do what you were going to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for instance, you know,
For instance, our podcast right now.
right.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this for about a week, but it's been progressively getting to the point where we're getting what we need lined up.
We didn't just talk about it for a week. We downloaded programs. We got in Skype calls. We hooked up cords. We had feedback. We had bought programs. I mean, like,
took notes.
You know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I like that. Do it now. But you do have to realize too, you can't do everything right now, and that's why you schedule.
Right.
So you schedule for the later now, but you're not saying, oh, let me put that off. I'll deal with it later. You're like, when later comes, I'm gonna be ready to be in the now.
But even scheduling is doing something now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if you're just like, I'm going to schedule tomorrow, and then you're just so comfortable with, like, putting it off, it just gets so put off.
Like when your video game becomes more important than building a schedule, you'll just, once I beat this level, then I'll schedule. But then you beat the level, and then you're like, I wanna keep playing. This is fun.
You know what's funny, man? When even, like, I've scheduled days to do nothing and try to play video games, and I haven't played video games in so long because it just stopped being fun.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the progressive aspect of it. And I even made a post the other day. I put, like, an Xbox logo and a PlayStation logo, and I said, this is what you think is fun.
Yeah.
And then I put, like, my graffiti piece, and I was like, this is what I think is fun.
Right.
You know, because, you know, I look at my Xbox, and then I look at my canvas, and I'm like, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that again.
Absolutely.
You know? So,
well, bro, like, I equate, I stopped playing video games for at least 5 years, maybe 7. I had that same realization, you know, like, whatever, like, let's just say 7 years ago. And I was like, wait, I'm playing someone else's game, like you were saying before, and I'm like, or if I'm working on a canvas, I can create my own game. And so I actually, during that time period, I created a piece called Building a Video Game Landscape. Mm-hmm. And the idea was, I'm going to play with paint like I was playing a video game. And so it just, I don't know, it's one of my favorite pieces, and I'm doing a lot of that kind of work now, trying to incorporate like video games and characters and stuff where it's almost like, dude, real life is more fun than the fake life, you know?
Yes. Right.
I mean, video games aren't fake. I just mean fake as in, if you have no involvement in the game itself, then...
Yeah. Intangible. Yeah, but back to what we were saying earlier, like, books are my new high. Like, I'm reading these so crazy because, like, the 2 books I have on my bed. Another thing that I believe I got from Tim Ferriss was reading nonfiction books before you go to sleep helps you get to sleep, as opposed to, like, informational books. So on my bed, literally, like, on my fucking bed, I have the Tools of Titans book, which is 800 pages, and that's, like, you know, self-help, like, not necessarily self-help, but, like, you know, business, entrepreneur, successful people, snippets of just, like, you know, what they, you know, of their tips for being where they are. And then the book right next to it I have is House of Leaves, which is another 700, 800 page book. Dope.
Some guys on ladders. I'm painting guys on ladders because that's what our whole life is just going up and up and up.
Yes.
That's one of my new hashtags, up and up.
Nice.
So what's your other book, though? You got a fictional book?
House of Leaves.
Okay.
House of Leaves. And it's, I'm not too far. I'm about 100 pages in right now. And again, it's like an 700, 800 page book. But, what? Oh, yeah, we were talking about video games. That's more fun to me.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like my brain is like, it's connected. You have to like have a strong imagination like in your mind, where it's like that is more entertaining to me than like a video game, because that's just like visually stimulating, but like mentally stimulating. Reading these books that are just so well written or so creatively written is it's just more entertaining to me at this point.
The cool thing about books is like what you just said, like they say like her dress was black and it was backlit so you could only see the sparkle in her earring. That's not that much information, but that just gave me this picture in my head of this like, mysterious figure, and like she's all curvy, and like, that could be on a screen when you're playing a video game, but it's cool to like, you can read the same book and see a completely different person.
Definitely.
And you're kind of building your creative process that way.
Definitely. And it's so crazy being like, an artist and an MC. Like, I feel like maybe like video games might be better to like help art, maybe, if your brain can connect that, but like reading helps me be a better MC.
Oh yeah, because it's words
as well, because there's words that I don't normally use, but if you're like reading it, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, all sorts of
that
like
makes
being
sense,
more descriptive,
and
so
that's cool. And that helps a lot
Yeah.
too, because honestly, like you said descriptive, but I like the idea of being specific. Like I have this
exactly,
analogy.
for sure.
I have this analogy where it's like, I want people around me to be specific, and this is what I mean. Let's say you said, hey, do you mind grabbing me a cup of coffee? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I come back, and you look in the cup, and you're like, bro, why is this cup crumpled? And there's like half of a coffee, and it looks like there's some bird shit in it. And I'm like, oh, well, I just, like, there's this guy who wanted some change, and then I asked him for his coffee, so it was some bums.
I love that.
Now here's the difference. Here's the difference. If you said, hey, would you go down to my favorite coffee shop with Joice's art in it at the Beachcomber in Arcata and get me a double cappuccino? But I want it in a big cup because I like the feel on my hand, and like maybe throw like a mint leaf in there. Now that I'm like, now that's going to be hard to mess up because
Right.
you were very clear,
I love that. The be specific thing. If you know me, I like, making people laugh or whatever. But like at work, or with people I have just good relationships with, they might say something and I might do that, but very different than what they just because I'm like, just so I can be like, oh, you need to be specific, just to fuck with people.
You did it, but then technically it's like, yeah, why did you do it that way?
Right. They're like, get me a fork, and then I go get them like a salad fork, like a big ass, like, and
Right.
be like, oh, you got to be specific, So
Yeah.
I think specifics is something a lot of us overlook.
I think, man, it's just like, so for another example, like, so that was supposed to be like a funny one, and I definitely got you. I got you to laugh. So.
Yeah.
But the real one is like, I just got a commission for a logo, and this guy, I only talked to him for 10 minutes. He was super professional. He was very clear. Just like, give me your information. I'll PayPal you the money. Like, I want it to be done in this amount of time. I need these specific words on it. And like, and I said, well, what kind of style do you want? And he's like, I just want it to look drawn. I don't want it to necessarily like be like a photo. So I feel like what I told him was, I said, I'm going to do it for this price, and I'll do 3 revisions. And I said, after that, if you're not being clear, it's just going to cost you. It's like, so every revision after that is this price. So it gives the client an incentive to be specific so that they get the product they want and they're not wasting my time, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Specifics is important, especially with creative minds.
Yeah, that's the job of a concept artist, really, is like taking someone's vision and then creating what they want to see. And so, like, I'm learning right now, because that's what direction I'm going in, is like, I mean, not going in that, I'm going to be there, no doubt. I'm already doing it, just on a low level, you know? But like, yeah, just, I don't know, all these things pertain to, like, these bigger ideas for us to, like, really get to where we want to go, you know?
Definite.
Yeah, I definitely really appreciate your time, Jaws. That's really cool, man.
That's good. It's good to talk about this. I know I'm taking notes. It's helpful. It feels good to just get this information out, living the tools that we're learning, and helping each other. I think that's also a very important thing, is having somebody to help. And just so everybody knows, me and Rob send each other progress reports on all sorts of stuff. And it's very helpful to have somebody like that in your mission to what you see as success.
Hey, let me throw something in there. You keep using the term Rob, and so my name's Robert Edward, but I go by RE because I don't know, I just like it. I like it feels good. So RE, it's my mom wanted to name me Redwood Empire, and my dad got to win. He got the Robert Edward, but so I went by RE throughout my whole childhood, and it's kind of new for some people, but that's going to be how I get to get to be seen on social media. For sure. Just know if you're saying Rob, then you know you're talking about me. So
yeah. We've known each other for almost 18 years, so I mean, it's right. Hard, you know. I mean, like, I know you as Spog Moores, you know, Cops,
Acclaim.
Yeah, bro. So for people who know, well, you're watching Anthony Vella. You know, my name's Anthony, but I mean, everybody in my life knows me as Jaws. I'm not hiding from that name. That's a very important name to me.
I mean, show them your knuckles. Yeah, boom.
JawsAtak.
Yeah, I mean that's what's up. But yeah, I mean it's important for me though because I like my name because it reads rejoice, like it's a word, and the word means enjoy. So it's just like I like hearing it. I like talking about it.
Yeah, positive energy.
It makes my Instagram easy. You can find me at RE and like so I'm just saying when you're calling me Rob, it's like. I don't know. I mean, think about even the word rob. Like, if you're going to rob someone, that's like, I don't want to be known as some conniving thief, you know? Like, maybe as like an MC when I was younger and actually, stealing chickens from the neighbors and shit, you know?
Right.
But like, dude, like now I'm kind of like, let's be positive and, I'm going to do my best to use JawsAtak because you got your other show, JawsAtak. And
JawsAtak show.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just like branding, we got to remember our characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got a bunch of things in the works, but this is going to be one of the top ones for sure. JawsAtak shows, just interview shows with other artists, just gaining insight. Other things in the works, but this is a good show. Success principles and
how do people follow you there?
At JawsAtak on all social medias, including YouTube, Jaws space attack spacebar attack 1 SoundCloud for my music, JawsAtak verse you know, on YouTube and find my battles. That was another thing. I just wanted to give a quick shout out. I wanted to say two more quick things. Shout out to Battle of the Zay and Dirtbag Dan for giving me a platform to build my name. Shout out to LA Battlegrounds, same thing. And then the other thing I wanted to say is promote positivity. Usually when I don't have something to say, and I really try to keep my personal life off my social medias. I use that as a business tool. But every once in a while, I will literally just put advertising positivity.
Nice.
Because I don't want to put any personal views on anything, but I want people to just like feel uplifted.
Yeah.
I got a hoodie printed that says actively pursuing my dream.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily just for me. That's for when people walk by me and see my hoodie and quickly are just like actively pursuing my dream, to try to like inspire them at least another step. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I actively pursuing my dream?
Right.
So,
or am I actively pursuing my video games?
Right.
But I mean,
Right.
hey, we've been knocking video games a lot, but I have to say I'm literally working and going to school as a video game designer.
No doubt.
My paintings, I'm building my own reality. I'd like a virtual reality video game. So I'm not knocking video games. I'm knocking the idea of people using them
Relying
as
on
a
them.
tool. Yeah, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, excuse me. Instead of using them as a tool, using them as a means to like escape reality, you know?
Oh, and that's another thing that just made me think. I gotta go really soon, but
All right.
Procrastinating. Tim Ferriss says it's not always bad to do that, but don't use it as a crutch. You know, sometimes you do need a break from everything, and you do have to have like a healthy thing to like be your procrastinating crutch or whatever. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. As long as it's healthy, you can go ahead and do it, but don't overwhelm yourself with it. So I've been holding a microphone this whole time because I like the idea that I rap. So bam, let's go back in the glove box. Anyway, that's what's up, brother.
With no procrastination, you've been tuning in to the first episode of Reaching for Acclaim with JawsAtak and RE Joice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. And
till next
we'll
time.
See you next week. Next week, man. We're doing these constantly. Yep. Friday.
Thanks for everybody that tuned in. There was a good handful of people. My grandma tuned in. That's awesome.
Nice.
My boss tuned in. That's
okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Joe
My brother's
Cutter.
Still on. Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can see my side. I don't think I can see your side. True Justice.
Right.
Big shout out to True Justice. Big shout out to Chris Storm. Jimmy Hopkins. So give your shout outs real quick and then we'll tune off.
You know what? I don't have any shout outs. I was just gonna say, if all goes well, when this is on YouTube, this will be ending up with a finished piece that I drew, and I don't know what it's gonna be yet. You know, it's gonna probably be some figures or some skeletons or some sort of ethereal plane of reptilian Episcopalians. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is we'll talk, you know, more in the future about the art specifically, and I'll get those done early. So that'll be like cool to explain some techniques and talk about like more specifically how you achieve like certain like three-dimensionality or lighting or things like that. So
yeah, buddy.
All right, dude. Well, hey, bless up.
Yeah, much love, brother. It's always good talking.
All right, till next time. Peace.
All right, peace.